Hello, welcome back to another episode of Twins Talk Arse. We are back again doing the player ratings after Arsenal absolutely smashed Newcastle out of the park and got a 3-0 win at the Emirates, which is always what we love to see. A nice return to home form for Arsenal. Stas, I'm going to start you off with probably the easiest match rating of the game. What do you think about Bernd Leno? How did he play today?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really have too much to do, He only had one save to make. So good performance from our defence and our outfield players. But Leno, I can't rate him too high because he wasn't busy. Which, to be fair, is to his credit and to Arsenal's credit. I would give him a 6. He didn't have too much to do. His distribution was good. I mean, it was a pretty quiet day at the office for Leno, I would say.
Yeah, he can only beat what's in front of him, and he beat what's in front of him. Standard day. Credit to our defense. I think I'm going to speak about. Let's go Rob Holding next because I've got some words to say about this dude. This dude I've had criticism for in the past. I've had words to say about this guy in the past. I didn't think he was good enough. He was making mistakes. He was like a squad player. This guy has grown this year. He is an absolute rock at the back. I think summed up by that challenge that he put in early on in the game. He basically told the other guys to just stand up, proper centre half challenge.
In the first few minutes against Almiron.
That's the one, yeah. This boy, I don't see how he's losing his spot in the Arsenal defence. I was worried when Andy Carroll was rated and put down on Newcastle's lineup, and he shot Andy Carroll down. He has been immense for us at the back. Give him an 8 today, man. He beat everything that came his way.
Yeah, no, completely agree. I mean, what I'd probably add to that is, I think what we've seen in the past from Rob Holding, so, like in the FA Cup against Chelsea, where he played alongside Saka and kept Diego Costa quiet. We've seen in the past that he's capable in certain games of, keeping the opposition forwards quiet and having a good game. But what we haven't seen in the past from him has been that consistency. That's why in the summer he was linked with loan moves to Newcastle, etc., to try and get that game time, build up that consistency. But what we've seen from him this season so far is we've managed to see that consistency. He's playing a lot better than he has in past seasons overall. He's got that consistency in his game. He's got that commanding presence now, which he maybe didn't have in past seasons. I completely agree with you. I think Rob Holding deserves a greater mention because of how well he's done this season.
Yeah. What did you think about his partner in crime today, David Luiz?
Yeah, David Luiz, I mean, another solid game. His distribution was good. He had a few headers from corners, which could have, worked out a bit better. He didn't judge them well. But, at the end of the day, kind of similar to Leno, it was a bit of another day at the office for him. He played well defensively, but he didn't have too much to do. He wasn't as imposing as Holding, so maybe I'd only give him a 6. But yeah, I mean, he didn't really have too much to do. For him, it was another quiet day at the office.
Yeah, I think the biggest kind of credit or the biggest compliment I can afford David Luiz is since he's come in, we haven't really missed Pablo Mari. He hasn't been tested that much, and you always think he's got a mistake in him. But lately, he seems to have mitigated those mistakes, and his distribution is a nice added touch to the team. So yeah, I think I would give him a 6 as well. He was solid today. Nothing spectacular. Could have got a few goals, but he was solid. I'll let you speak about Keiran Tierney because that's going to be an easy coverage. I'll speak about Cedric. I think this boy deserves a lot of credit for his performance today. I've criticised him before, but today he did everything right. Defensively he was solid and he was a threat going forward. He did excellently to set up Aubameyang's third goal. And I think it's really nice that he's providing some competition to Bellerin now. I really want to see these performances continue from him because he's a Portuguese international, played very well at Southampton. We haven't seen that at Arsenal yet. This performance is the first time that I've seen him and thought he's a decent player, he's a quality player. I give him a 7 today. Played very well today. Hopefully we can see more of that if we are going to keep rotating Hector because, Hector does suffer with injuries. We need a good backup just in case.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, with regards to, Hector and Cedric coming in today as a result, Hector is fairly injury prone. Last season, he spent a lot of time injured. So I think, Suarez came in today, took his chance, kept a clean sheet, got an assist. You can't really ask for more from him. He's only had 5 minutes of Premier League football this season before today's game. So, great performance from him. But for him now, it was a great performance, but it's a case of him, doing this on a consistent basis, kind of like what Holding's done this season. But no, I do agree. I think I'd give him a 7 or an 8. He got an assist. It was a great all-round performance. You can't really have too many criticisms or complaints about him, especially given his limited game time in this season. Moving on to Tierney, I mean, I think again you've got to give him an 8. He came in after missing the Crystal Palace game. He dominated the left-hand side again. You saw just what we missed when we drew with Crystal Palace. He gave us width on that left-hand side. He had good crosses from the left-hand side. He was good from an offensive and a defensive point of view. His passing range was good, from that left-hand channel. Very rarely caught in possession, normally always in the right place at the right time, whether that be for interceptions or simply just for, defensive solidarity. I mean, Tierney, the more you watch him this season, the more you kind of realize that he's the full package, and, it's great that he's in an Arsenal shirt at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think the difference that he made today was substantial, and we really missed him during the game against Crystal Palace. And you saw the difference that he makes, the kind of runs that he makes, the incessant kind of energy that he brings to the team on that left-hand side is unmatched. And we lose a lot when we lose him. And I think he adds another dimension to Aubameyang's game as well. Suddenly when Abba's got the ball and Tierney's playing behind him, he's got somebody overlap him with pace and incisiveness, and he doesn't have that. And he's also got somebody who can find him if he's making runs. I think a large part of Abba's performance today was due to having Tierney behind him. So yeah, I think big performance from Kieran Tierney. We need him to stay fit. I'll move on to Xhaka. Xhaka, I felt played well today. He's come a long way since that red card that he picked up. He's been solid since he's come back, and he's a player which we need. That's the pairing which I think Arteta has envisioned, him and Thomas Partey, and he adds a lot to our team when he's playing well. We tick over better with him in the heart of our midfield. He's not the best player, and at times he can lose his head, but at the moment he's a stable character for us. And yeah, I thought we played well today. I'd give him a 7.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think it wasn't as good a performance as the Crystal Palace game from him, for the simple reason that we had to defend more in the Palace game. He made more interceptions, more blocks, etc. in that game. But you saw a different side of him today. This game was more about when Tierney bombs forward, can Xhaka be defensively disciplined, to fill in at left back? When, Partey's maybe bombing forward, trying to link up for the attack, can Xhaka be disciplined and stay in midfield? And also, can he link up with the attack in the instances where maybe Partey's, not up to speed with, that attacking phase, etc. And I thought we saw all of that from Xhaka today. He didn't do anything spectacular, but it was another solid performance at the heart of midfield from him. And yeah, I mean, I'd give him a 6.5 or a 7. I think he had another good game today. Like you said, I think for players like him and David Luiz, it's kind of a case of eradicating these issues or these errors which they can sometimes make and be known for. And I think, when they eradicate them, in the games, etc., it's, a massive positive, because you see how good they can be.
Yeah, I think just adding to that, it must be difficult for Xhaka. Xhaka is a guy that we've known to score long range goals. We've known that he can link up play with very insightful and decisive passing. So it must be difficult for him to be asked to play a more constricted and kind of considerate role to make space for Thomas Partey to go forward, to make space for Kieran Tierney to go forward. And the fact that he's doing that, is credit to him, that he's comfortable kind of taking a step back, letting other people take the offensive limelight, or he does the defensive work. Maybe that is why we're speaking about him less today than we were against Crystal Palace, because his position today was to kind of be that defensive fullback and facilitate the other players going forward, which, they did. And there's a reason we're talking about Tierney and Thomas Partey today.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, as much as you want your certain players to be attacking and creating chances, etc., you do need other players which can simply be, defensively disciplined and do a job for the team. And I think Granit Xhaka has done that today. He did it against Crystal Palace. And I think, we'll see how the next few games, the next few weeks go, etc. But I think at this moment in time, it looks like it'll be him and Thomas Partey in our midfield. And, it looks to be promising signs. It's only been one game today, but, hopefully it's the start of a blossoming relationship,
Let's
in
get on
that
to the
midfield.
big man.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to Partey, I'd give him a solid 8. He only played 65 minutes, which is good. He kind of played and did his business while he needed to, and then when the game was won, he got subbed off. I think, what can you say about him? You kind of saw from today's game that when he plays, when he's fit, etc., you see what he can do. You saw his passing range for the first goal. It was an amazing pass to free Aubameyang on the left-hand side. But even generically speaking, you did see his great range of passing throughout the game, his ability to link up play, his ability to break up opposition play, to break up opposition attacks, before they've got going, like to tackle the midfielders. And he brings the legs to the team, kind of thing. A bit like, as an example, what Kante did at Chelsea, what he did at Leicester. You kind of get that vibe about Thomas Partey, when he plays for Arsenal, which I'm sure, every Arsenal fan will be excited about. It's a case of if we can keep him fit and if he can do it on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I like the measured response, the measured kind of role which Arteta has given him at the moment. This boy is too important to rush back for any game. He was immense today. Broke up Newcastle attacks, was excellent going forward. He's going to be the motor, the engine in our team. I'm looking forward to seeing him continue to play, but big performance from him today.
Yeah.
Moving out.
Our front three attacking mids of Aubameyang, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Saka. Do you want to start with Aubameyang?
Yeah, let's start with the big man. This result, I'm giving Abba a 9 out of 10 for this. For me, he was man of the match purely because of his tenacity. Other players, maybe were technically better today, but this man missed big chances in the first half. Big chances. And I thought his head was going to drop. And the fact that he kept going and got 2 goals and an excellently taken first goal as well shows the man's class. People were writing him off before, but this is a guy that consistently performs year in, year out. And it was only a matter of time until he started scoring again. And I think these 2 goals are going to be massive goals for him. He missed an open goal in the first half, and he missed a couple of good other chances as well. And if he hadn't scored, I think that would really hit his confidence. But 2 goals back, he looks like he's full of confidence again. And I'm looking forward to him continuing to progress and show that kind of goal scoring form. So yeah, I think it's a big game for Abba. I'm looking forward to him continuing to score after this.
Yeah, no, 100%. Quickly what I'd add for Aubameyang, we want to see this consistency going forward, of course. But, it's great that he's got back on the score sheet. Since the Fulham game, he'd only got 1 goal from open play. So it's good to see him scoring again. And, hopefully he can start delivering again on a consistent basis. But, he's got to start somewhere. He got 2 goals today, 2 very well taken goals. He did miss a few chances earlier on, but he didn't let it get him down. He kept going and, he got the reward for it in the end. So I completely agree. I'd give him a 9 for that. Moving on to Saka as well. Another one, things didn't always work out for him today, just as they haven't in the past. He's still a young player, still learning, still developing. But, I'd give him an 8 today. Like, he put the effort in, he kept going, he kept trying, he kept giving his all, he got a very good goal. I think Saka kind of, and Emil Smith-Rowe, when we come on to him after, but I think both of them, they kind of they represent Arsenal at this moment in time, where they're eager, they're young, they want to impress. They're trying to do all they can, and you can see that in the performances. They're trying to get the goals, they're trying to get the assists, they're trying to get Arsenal back to where Arsenal should be ultimately. Moving on to Emil Smith Rowe quickly as well. Again, I think I'd give him an 8 as well. I think, simply put, it's that tenacity, that determination to succeed. He got an assist today, another great performance from him. Don't get me wrong, these are two very young players. There's going to be ups and downs for both of them, both this season and in the coming seasons. But, they both gave a very good account for themselves today. And, fingers crossed that it only gets better from here.
Yeah, I agree. Immense performances from both of them. We're seeing consistency from two young players, which we shouldn't be seeing from players this young. They've got bright futures ahead of them. I do think that we need a backup for Emil, because we know that he's injury prone, and we know that if we lose him, we haven't got number 10, and Partey needs a number 10 in front of him. So I do think we should be looking to sign a backup for Emil, just as I think we should sign a backup for Leno. But today, massive performances from both of them. And Saka's playing with a confidence that he doesn't deserve to have at this age. That boy is getting better and better every game I see him. I'm looking forward to seeing him playing the big boys and teaching some more experienced defenders a thing or two about how good he is.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like you said, they are both young players. They're going to have ups and downs, but they haven't really struggled in the transition to the first team. They've had short loan spells away. I know Emil Smith Rowe had a short spell at Huddersfield, short spell at Leipzig, which was interrupted by injury. But, they haven't, if you compare them to like some of Chelsea's youngsters, these guys have gone out on loan. They've had 1 season, 2 seasons. Some of them have had 8, 9 seasons on loan at certain places. Our boys, they haven't really gone out on loan and got a taste of first team football. They haven't necessarily had that adaptation period that, some other young players at other clubs would have, but they've come into the team and they've smashed it. They're playing really well for their age, and I think you've got to give both of them credit.
Should we quickly touch on the subs?
Yeah, well, we got Lacazette first, but I think just very quickly on Lacazette, I'd give him a 6. He linked up well. He held the ball up well. He did his job in that sense as a centre forward, but it was nothing too spectacular. He didn't get a goal, didn't get an assist, but his all-round build-up and hold-up play was good.
Yeah, I'd say the goal and assist were the only things lacking. He looks like he's a player with confidence, playing well, trying flicks and tricks that are coming off, and giving us like a strong dimension up front as well by being able to hold up ball and link up play. He is in a rich vein of form right now. And he didn't get a goal or assist today, but he's playing very well. What do you think about our subs?
Yeah, so going through the subs quickly, because I guess most of them weren't on the pitch for so long, so they didn't have a meaningful contribution. If we talk about Willian and Martinelli first, because they were the two on the pitch for the shortest amount of time. Willian, I'd give, a 4, maybe a 5. Martinelli as well, maybe a 4 or 5. But, for the simple reason that they weren't on the pitch for long enough to have a meaningful impact on the game. They kind of came on at a time where I think Arsenal were kind of looking to steady the ship, just to be solid defensively, not to concede a goal. And it was at a stage where, if Arsenal got a 4th goal, it would have been a bonus rather than, going for the juggernaut and going for that 4th goal. But, they did their defensive performances, their defensive duties well. Nothing too spectacular, but they weren't on the pitch long enough to make an effort, long enough to make a true impact. But then El Neni came on slightly earlier, around the 66th minute for Partey. How did you rate El Neni?
Yeah, El Neni, I'll give El Neni a 6. He's a good player. He's a squad player. He shouldn't be in the team ahead of Xhaka or Partey. But today he came on, played very well, linked up, played well. Didn't make any mistakes. I'll give him a 6. I think he didn't really have a lot of time to make an impact on the game, but we didn't miss Partey when he left, and I think that's the biggest compliment I can give El Neni. I think I agree with your other evaluations of the subs. The only thing I'd say with Willian is I was so hopeful and excited for the boy when he was up to take that free kick, and very sad that it hit the post. I think we've got to keep trying with him, and this kind of leans onto my rating of Arteta, who I'm going to give a 10 out of 10 for today. I think he absolutely smashed every decision that he needed to make. The team sheet was a ballsy team sheet. He kept Willian, he kept Pepe out of the team because why play them back in? It's a ballsy thing to do, and we're paying him so much money. But he's a young manager, but he makes decisions like that, and we were better off for it. He brought Willian on when we were winning the game comfortably to try and give him time to get a goal to build his confidence up. I think he's managing that situation well. I think that situation will improve. I think Willian will turn a corner for us. It's just going to take time. I know fans are frustrated, but I think it will turn around for us. And I think he's managing the Partey situation well as well. We're being considerate in our playing time with him. We don't want him to get injured again. I think Arteta is managing that situation as well. And also 10 out of 10 for continuing to believe and give our Aubameyang chances. This is a guy with, pedigree which the rest of the team at Arsenal don't have. And I personally think he deserves the chances that Arteta has given him. And now Arteta is being repaid for that faith. So big respect for Arteta. He brought us out of a bad situation earlier, and I think he got every decision spot on today.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I mean, I think, the team started a bit slow in the first half, which isn't necessarily his fault. But, words were said at halftime. The team came out better in the second half. He took off Thomas Partey when the game was won. He took off Aubameyang when the game was won. You might as well give him a rest. There's no point risking an injury, etc. He gave Willian minutes, which, I completely agree. I think at the end of the day, Willian is only going to get out of this, rut, so to speak, by playing and ultimately by getting goals and assists, which can only happen if he's on the pitch. So, I mean, I do agree he shouldn't be starting at this moment in time, especially in the Premier League. But, it's good that when we are winning games, we can bring him on, see what he can do. Maybe he can make an impact. And, who knows? Maybe he'll get a lucky goal or whatever. And, that could be the confidence booster that he needs and will kind of propel him back to the level where we hope he can get to.
Yeah, I think he will turn that corner. We just need to keep giving him time and being patient. We've seen a lot of players at Arsenal drop, not just Willian. And some of them are turning the corner now. And I think Willian will. He's too good not to. So, I guess we'll continue to see. But good performance all around from Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. I think you couldn't ask for more. So, I think that's all for today. So thank you for listening to Twins Talk Arsenal. If you feel free to like and to subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, feel free to add them below. We'll be happy to answer them. And we hope you guys enjoy our videos and look forward to more in the future.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.